Hi, this is Cleo. I'm going to take you through a quick process on how to import an Oracle VM VirtualBox image. The image that we're going to bring in is a Siebel 811 demo image that's been exported using VirtualBox. You might be familiar with using VMware. Well, VirtualBox is the technology that we got through the Sun Microsystems acquisition, so we're transitioning from VMware to VirtualBox. Before we get into the import process, I'll show you a little bit of background info. So quick FYI, if you don't already have VirtualBox installed, you can go to virtualbox.org and download it there, or you can go to My Desktop and download and install the application. Once you have it installed, fire up the app and you'll see something that looks kind of like this. The only difference is you won't have any of these images indicated right here. So the first thing we want to do is keep in mind where we want our imported image to go. So if you go up to your preferences, and mine, I happen to be using my Mac, but it'll be something similar on your Windows machine, you need to make note where you want that to reside. So in this case, I would be importing to users C Townsend VirtualBox VMs. You can decide where you want that to go, whether your D drive, your solid state drive, or an external drive. The important thing is you need to make sure that you have upwards of 90 gig available so that you can import that particular image as well as have enough space for it to grow. So I'm mentioning 90 gig, but even now I'm looking at this and we're talking a couple of drives here upwards of 140 gig. So make sure you have a good amount of space available to you. And then once again, you're noting it here in your preferences as to where you want that to go. So let's show you through that import process. If I go to File, Import Appliance, the first thing it'll show me is a quick pop-up screen, and I go to Open Appliance. And I need to go find that particular image. So in this case, let's go down and find where that image happens to reside. It's on my Mac Blue TV. It's an external drive that I happen to have, and there's the image that I want to import. 082012_gold_Siebel_CDA.OVA. So this is an image that has both Siebel 8115 as well as, well, it is a Siebel CTMS 8115 as well as CDA 2.0. So I'm now going to click on Open. You'll see indication of the file that I want to open here. I will now click Continue, and you'll see some information about that particular image. First is the name of that image, the operating system, how many CPUs are going to be designated. Here it's indicated 2. If I needed to make a change, I could make a change there. The same thing holds true with the RAM, which is now designated for 3349 megabytes. But you know what? It's Windows 2003, and I'm going to change that to 2048 because that's all I can really acknowledge anyway. So you may want to go ahead and change yours to 2048. Then the next thing I'll point out to you, if you remember before we went into our preferences, this shows the path of where this is going to be stored. So if you change your preferences, this is going to be set for your path as well. By default, it's VirtualBox is going to designate where it wants it to go, but really you have complete control over that. Well, once you've gotten finished making those changes, you can click Import. In my case, I already have that particular image imported, so I'm not going to bother with the actual import itself. So I'll cancel out at this point. Now that you have finished your import, and that's going to take a while, by the way, and I don't know, might take upwards of an hour or 2 hours to do the import. Well, actually not even that long. Last time I did it on a Windows machine, it probably took 40-45 minutes. So when you're finally finished with this, you should have something that looks like this. Siebel 811 demo platform. Now you click on Start, and it'll begin the process of starting up that image. You probably won't see that particular pop-up unless you happen to be running on a Mac like I am. It'll go through the basic process of starting up that image, It'll take I don't know, a few seconds to a minute. We'll take a look and see how long that actually takes to begin the process of bringing up Windows 2003. So we have the Windows Server 2003 logo pop up. And shortly after this, it'll go through the process of firing us up into Windows. In case you don't happen to remember, the user ID and password that you will use to get into this are demoadmin, DEMOADMIN, all lowercase, and the password is Siebel, SIEBEL. Oh, actually, it's one other thing I should mention to you. You see how it says press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to begin? Well, if you press Ctrl-Alt-Delete on your keyboard right now, it's going to take you out to your Windows host machine, and it'll go to Ctrl-Alt-Delete that way. What you really want to do in this case is go to Machine and go down to Insert Ctrl-Alt-Delete. And that's where you get to put in your username and password. So as I mentioned before, the username is demoadmin and the password is Siebel. So at this point, it'll go through its entire process of firing up Windows, and it'll get you to the point where you can run the image. You might come across this particular error here. If you do see it, don't worry about it. Just click OK, bypass it. If you see that image, click OK and bypass that one too. It really won't have any effect on your running the application. So now that I'm done with this, I'm going to click OK, and Windows will continue to fire up. So I'll go ahead and pause now and wrap up the process of showing you how to import the particular image. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. That's at area code 215-901-2536 for the US. So that's the +1 if you happen to be dialing external to the US. And if you need to reach me by email, that's area code, or rather, it's cleo, cleo.townsend, TOWNSEND @oracle.com. Thanks a lot and good luck.